Motorcycle sprinting or drag racing, whatever you call it, is one of those sports not a lot of people know a lot about, and that includes me. But this guy over here does. This is Steve Hillary. He's already champion of the Super Twins. Is that right, Steve?
Yeah, National Association of Super Twins.
Yeah, and I saw you go down the strip this morning here at Brighton, sounding beautiful on this Ducati. Now, to people who don't like Ducatis, tough luck. I love the things, and this bike sounded superb. And you did a pretty good time in practice, didn't you?
10.8 at 137, yeah, so that was quite good, considering there's quite a bit of oil on the start. So,
yes, that's right. You just slewed sideways a wee bit, didn't you?
Just a tad.
Tell us about the bike a bit, because this is really tricked up, isn't it? You've got everything on it, so you start away.
It's ball end strokes from what it was, which was a 955 Corsa. A lot of Ferrari parts in it from the States, including the cams and the valves, a stroker crank in it. It's got titanium rods, titanium valves as well, magnesium engine side casings, titanium exhaust system, which is a spaghetti system, and of course all the carbon fibre tank and bodywork, so to make it light as well.
And you've even got this thing registered for the road, haven't you?
Well, yeah, we do use it on the road a bit.
Quite a road tool. Now, what have you actually done to it for sprinting? I've already noticed you've got the lengthened swinging arm.
Yeah, we've lengthened the swinging arm and changed the gearing, and we've also got a chip written by Ferrari, which tames it down a bit, increases the torque, and gives the power spread across the range is improved. The mid-range is beefed up for the drag racing, basically, without losing any top-end power. That's what it's about.
So, with the engine mods, with the chip mods, the length and the swinging arm, you can keep the front end down, or more or less.
That's the idea.
Get all that power down, and away you go.
Yeah.
Now, something else I understand, this has had a bit of a history to it as well, hasn't it?
Yeah.
So, tell us a bit about that.
It was Trevor Nation's bike in British Superbikes for the Oxford Fairings team.
Yeah.
In the first place, that was in 93, 94. Then it was Ray Stringer's bike for the Devonmead team the year they won, which was 94, 95. And since then, I've just had it myself and drag raced it.
Yeah.
Been on a few circuits, but not a lot really.
No, and it's got to be an unusual bike. Well, in the Twin series, I don't suppose it is too unusual, is it?
Well, there's only two. Well, there was two Ducatis in the Twin series. One of them's a Bevel, the early one. This is the only fuel injected bike there, so it is very unusual. Usually, it's Harley Davidson sort of territory, the drag racing. So we get out and give them a good kick in.
Right. Now, perhaps it's a bit unfair to actually drop it on you, but yours is the Twins class. I mean, just how many? There's road classes and race classes, and then are the vintage classes as well?
In the Twins, there's street class, top gas, top fuel, and modified. And I run in the street class, which basically means it's got to be road legal.
Yeah.
But there's no other rule in apart from it has to be a 4-stroke twin.
All right.
They've just changed the rules this year to allow in 2-strokes. So only 2-strokes out there that want to come along, they're more than welcome now.
But will they beat you?
They can try.
Okay, thanks.
More the merrier. Thank you very much.
Well, just to prove motorcycling isn't totally a male preserve, and especially sprinting, Heidi Gifford here put on a good show this morning on this ZX9. Heidi, you've been doing this for a while?
Yeah, just over 6 years now.
Yeah. And come on, don't be modest. You actually won last year, didn't you?
I won my class at this event last year, yeah. I was doing a lot of racing last year, and I was quite fortunate to win.
And what class was that? Was that a class for road bikes?
This is they call it 1000cc racing class.
Yeah.
But, I normally race in the road legal up to 900cc class.
And so this bike's your everyday bike, isn't it?
Yeah, I use it. I go on holiday on it. I use it for work every day, and I use it for sport as well.
Popping down the shops and all the rest
ideal.
of it.
It's perfect, yeah.
And what have you actually done to it? I mean, do you have to do anything to enter the sprint like this at all?
No, I ride to the events. I just tape up my lights, put on my racing numbers, and I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
I have made a few modifications to this one, but nothing really major.
No, just sort of dyno jetting and that sort of stuff. And I see you've got some nice trick bits on the fairing here to make it easy to remove.
Little details.
Yeah. What do you think the attraction is then? What made you get into sprinting drag racing? I mean...
Well, it looked easy, actually.
Well, here's a man you might well recognise, Mike Granger of ZZR Turbo fame. Right, what are you doing on a Blackbird?
Well, it's a very nice road bike, and I'm a Honda, Kawasaki, Suzuki and Yamaha dealer, so I've got a good choice.
Oh, a bit of product placement is this.
Absolutely.
So before we move on to other things, have you done anything to the Blackbird?
No, it's completely stock other than the Micron silencers and Dynajet, that's it.
Right, and then the fancy flash colour scheme.
That's GT Motorcycles colours.
Yeah, but you certainly went down the strip on the practice. Pretty neat this morning. Were you pleased with that?
When I was playing, really, to be honest. Yeah. Quite enjoyed it, though.
Now look, to get back to the ZZR, remind us of what you did. Well, remind me what you did. I mean, over 200 mile an hour, wasn't it, on your...
Yeah, it was the British and European land speed record. I actually smashed the record, which was at 200.5, which is held by Mick Boys and Fazian. I actually upped it to 209.05.
Yeah.
That's actually taken your average speed in both directions from the flying quarter.
Yeah.
The biggest one we got in the UK, the longest we've got is 2 miles, that's it.
Yeah.
So as you can appreciate, a bit of longer strip would have been quicker.
Yeah, and so what did that sort of speed feel like? I mean, you're used to fast bikes, but I mean, did it feel like, I silly think perhaps, did it feel like 200 mile an hour? What does 200 mile an hour feel like? But I mean, did it feel that fast?
Well, it felt twice as fast as 100 mile an hour.
Oh, very clever, right, enough of that then. So, what are you doing here today? Are you a regular sprinter?
I do a fair bit of sprinting, although to be honest, it's the first sprint I've done this year because I've been very busy with the shop.
Yeah.
And obviously, I've just come to enjoy myself today.
Right, okay, but you've done the Brighton sprint before, have you?
I have done. I really enjoyed it when it used to be a half mile.
Yeah.
Now it's a quarter. I mean, it's a bit...
Oh, it cramps your style a little bit.
A little,
doesn't it?
yeah.
So, when it was half a mile, what sort of terminal speed could you reach?
Well, with the turbo, it would have been knocking on the door 200 miles an hour in half mile. Yeah.
It's true, it's not on the seafront as well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Look out for seagulls in it.
Absolutely.
Okay, bye. Well, look, I wish you all the best for this afternoon, and we shall watch your progress on the Blackbird.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Well, the Americans have got a phrase, run what you brung, which means it can be an ordinary road bike used on the road. And here we have a TL1000 Suzuki, a very ordinary road bike, and a very nice one too. Roger, you're the pilot of this one then?
Yes, yeah.
So what made you pick this?
We knew we were going to be up against some competitive machinery down here today. We'd planned on it being a wet event, and we thought the TL with sort of loads of torque would be ideal. So we bought the TL and a wet tyre, but the weather's been absolutely perfect, and we're going to just have to run it as is.
So how do you think it's going to fare then against the competition anyway? How did you do this morning?
Not too bad. You have a lot of problems with wheelies with the TL. The TL's got such a lot of power, getting off the line's a real struggle. But yeah, 11 something was quite good, just under 130. So for a first run, yeah, fine.
Not bad. And I think I saw you going sideways at the start. Was that you? Was it?
No, that was Granger. I was okay.
So a nice, neat launch. And what's the attraction about sort of sprinting to you?
Well, Brighton is one of the few that I do. It's a local event, very cosmopolitan and relaxed, and you can have fun. It's a nice road circuit, very friendly. Marshals are really good. It's a good event, nice event.
So it's genuine motorcycle sport, isn't it? Bring a road bike along, squirt it down.
Yeah, it's a traditional event. It's one of those things that you really got to help preserve, and that's it. You know, it's great.
Okay, and it's beautiful weather, so we'll wish you all the well for this afternoon, and
thanks very much.
You can do the business, rain or no rain. Cheers then.
Thanks.
Now this bike here really is a drag bike, and it's a bike that you'd recognise as a drag bike. Dave Holland is the pilot, and you're the course record holder at Brighton, Dave, but you're no newcomer to this, are you?
No, this is about my 5th year of actually doing it now. Started doing it about 7 years ago, but now this is the furthest we've ever been with it now. We've done everything we can to have an all-out attempt at a record today. So.
And you were the quickest this morning, mate?
Yeah, we had a good mile an hour. We ran 168 over the finish line wheeling, but it's spinning the tyre too viciously to get a good time.
Yeah.
So we've got to play around with it now. We've shortened it up a bit. We've let a bit of pressure out. Martin Peck, my mechanic there, he's done well. We should go another 5
Because you don't
minutes
run wheelie bars on this, do you?
No, if I run wheelie bars, then it loads up more of the engine, and if it doesn't wheel spin and doesn't wheelie, then something can break.
Ah, so it's that fine balance between the two.
So I tend to go for like the rideability side of it.
Yeah. Now, using the old Suzuki GSXR, 11 it started out, but what is it now?
1408 now.
which is really massive, isn't it?
Yeah.
So what's that? That's crank, board, and stroked, and everything else.
Stroke the crank light and bore out all the liners. It's a big block. Looks like an old school radiator in there now. It's like great big 85mm pistons in there. And
oh, I can see it. Yeah, it's
still
lost
got
those nice fine fins, hasn't it?
Yeah. So you have to have that to get the big capacity into it. But I mean, now we had a good run on it a couple of weeks ago. We went 8.7 over the quarter, 169.
Yeah.
So that's charging on now. It's great fun to ride.
And so the other thing, this one, unlike the road bikes we've been looking at, this one's got air shifter and all the rest of it. Yeah.
You launch it on a sort of a launch control system. You change gear with a button. You've got nitrous buttons which you press halfway down, and it's a bit like a disco in there. Really.
Yeah.
There's a lot of lights in there, and they all play a part. And if you don't respond to them quick, you mess it up. So it's a mind game. You've got to be headstrong for it.
And you make it all sound so simple and straightforward.
I wish it was. No, I mean you'll see at the end of the day if it's made it that simple, because I'll take home the trophy. But
yeah,
there's a lot of work to be done.
Like riding a mobile pogo stick.